So hey guys, figured I'd make a tutorial on how to play Rumble Fighter, although I don't really recommend playing the game, but you know, might as well. So pretty simple stuff. We have punching, punch, 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 then you have kicking, and there's not that much of a difference between punching or kicking. It's about the same. And I might have to lower the volume on this a little bit more. Let's see, is that better? Yes. So we have punching, kicking, grabbing, which I can't do in the air for some reason consistently. If I really try for a while, oh, there we go, air grab. And the game gets pretty complicated because, you know, there are also 8 directions. So we can kick this way, we can kick this way, every which way. And if we're in the middle of an action, we can turn only about like we can't turn 180, right? Or 80 degrees or whatever. We can only turn 45 degrees, I think. Or was it? Yeah, I just won't think about it too much, but we can only turn about this much. So this matters essentially. And then depending on where you're facing, the grabs just won't work. So if we're grabbing from the back here, that's not going to work. If we're grabbing from the front, that will work. And from this direction as well. And we can also grab technically diagonally. So grab from the side, diagonal. So essentially you have to be facing each other somewhat to be able to perform a grab. And same thing kind of applies with the counter. So if punch is going this way, I might not be able to counter it necessarily. It depends. And if you hit your opponent with a certain angle, this will also force them to turn. So egg punch turns like this, they'll turn. This way it'll turn. If I hit them in the back, they will not turn. If I hit them in the back like that, they will turn a little bit. But they won't, your opponent will not turn to face you. And then there is just a little bit more, honestly. Well, of just the basics, I suppose. We have jump punch. This is harder to land than jump kick, and it has bigger hit stun, so probably don't use this unless you're a god gamer. And then we have jump kick, much easier to land. Doesn't do as much damage, less hit stun, but much more consistent to land, right? And that is pretty much it for the basics. You can also do panics. So essentially when you're getting hit like this, well, let's see. Can I get hit here? Well, all right. This AI cheats. It can hit me with the final hits of its combos randomly. So essentially, you know, if you press your punch button and your kick button at the same time, it performs a panic, and that allows you to break out of combos. But the downside to this is if you do panic, there is a chance that your opponent is just Giga Gamer and they will just be able to block your panic, which is something they can do if they predict it ahead of time, right? So let's say I'm doing a combo like this. We're going to do like this. And on that second hit, technically you could be performing like, well, not for this, but there are certain scrolls with 3-hit stuns and whatnot. This one's 2-hit. So if I do just one kick here and then go block, because you're going to be anticipating me doing this attack, which is a stun, which allows me to then do this, which is a juggle, which is essentially just when you perform a launcher and then you perform a combo on someone in air. That's essentially a juggle right there. And there are more advanced forms of juggling, but you know, general idea. You don't want to get hit by any launchers, so good chance you just die because this covers a lot of distance just in general. And I mean, since they added air panic, it's like not exactly the same. So when you're in the air like this, you used to be vulnerable and you would get like giga punish, but I mean, now you can just panic in the air apparently, so you're not dead. But a lot of the time that you get hit by like something like this, you could just be dead because you have no way to really control your character. There were some like really niche ways, like if you press a directional key like up or down when you get hit or launched up, there you're able to, if you time it like perfectly, you can change the direction you get sent flying. So instead of like in this case, if I do a hit here, my opponent here will get sent flying this way, but if you do this, it's probably, I'm not even sure if it's a bug or a feature, but you know, you can get sent flying this way or this way. But the downside to this is if your opponent is actually a Giga gamer, they can actually adjust, and off of the first hit, they can go like this, and then they can angle the second hit so that they will actually catch you, and they'll be able to abuse the fact that the game's in 8 well, you've got 8 directions because the game's 3D, right? So you can catch someone and then you can continue the juggle. So it's pretty nuanced like that. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff in general. And there are a few other mechanics, like with Electro here, we have charged attacks. So the charged attacks are pretty interesting as well. So if I do a full charge like that, it will break through the guard. If I don't do a full hit, it will not. So if it's fully charged, it breaks through. If not, it will not. Very simple, I guess. But because you can, well, I guess because you can, well, having trouble inputting this now, but because you can release the hit early, it's pretty nuanced, and positioning is pretty important in the game. So if I were to just do this, this leaves me vulnerable, right? So let's pretend this is actually a human and I just do this. There's an immense lag, so I'm going to be pressing the punch key out of that, and there's like a whole second where I can't move, where I can be completely punished for whiffing this attack. Then my opponent could hit me with a launcher, a stun, or start a juggle on me for essentially free if I whiff this. But the way to somewhat prevent this is to angle the hit here. So as you can see, I still connect my punch, right? Unless I do a full charge, but if I mess around with the angle a little bit. Why is it angling so hard? Why is it able to do a full 180 there? I do not remember that being a thing. This should be going diagonal, but whatever. If I do go diagonal on this, I am positioned here, which makes me a little bit safer. It's not going to be that much safer, so if my opponent's not like utter trash, they should be able to angle like this, right? Immediately go angle their launcher and then juggle me diagonally. But they might need to adjust, giving me a little bit of time if they have to react to me being in a weird position, right? So a little bit nuanced here and there. And let's turn that off and turn this on. I don't have the timing down pat anymore, but you know, you can also do a counter like that. And there are different like animations for some different scrolls. It's a little bit different. Like with the grab, I can't grab the back here, but there are scrolls that can grab from the back. So if you're just in neutral like this, you can be grabbed. So the way to prevent getting grabbed like that from in neutral is to simply do a quick turnaround and block the other direction. This only works on scrolls that do not have a omnidirectional grab, otherwise referred to as like an omni grab or an omni, right? So if I were to do this, that would prevent me from getting grabbed. And there are times where this is useful, times where it's not. And then it's also get up attacks. So we have the kick get up attack, and then we have the punch get up attack. So the punch allows you to get some distance, it's a fixed distance, but yeah, that's a little bit nuanced here and there. And the other thing is that you can, well, vary the timing between your attacks. So right now I'm just doing punch 1. And then we have punch 1 into punch 2, and then punch 1 into punch 2, but with a bigger delay. And it's kind of difficult to get the timing down initially, but if I do the combo quick and then the combo slow, you can really see the difference. So I can go fast here and then slow down. Well, I'm having trouble doing this because I'm just really rusty, I guess. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then fast. Let's try from slow to fast. That's easier. And that's slow to fast right there. So by mixing your tempo, this can also make it difficult to kind of block and get out of your combos. So, you know, if you're blocking and your opponent is mixing up the timing, you can have time if you delay enough on certain attacks, it can break your opponent's rhythm and allow you to grab mid combo where you otherwise wouldn't be able to do somewhat because your tempo is kind of varied. And then of course there is angling attacks like this. Well, the hitbox on this isn't good enough to work for that, I guess. But in this case, I believe we should be able to angle the kick. I don't know if it doesn't work on this wall, or if it's because this map is weird. And there we go. We angled the hit. I think we can't angle the last hit. We have to angle the last two for this. But, you know, that's why it's important to test, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't work. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, messed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't connect the third hit. 1, 2, 3. The lineup's bad. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm garbage. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That didn't line up either. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I delayed that too much, I think. That or it was not lined up. But yeah, you know, you have to work on this positioning type stuff, and I'm kind of just rusty with it. And then aside from that, we have the ability to abuse position, because you can attack from any direction and you just stop on a dime and it gets very confusing. I mean, I'm using a set with pretty high stats right now. I have 60 speed, so I'm like just zooming. You can get a good bit higher though, I guess. But yeah. And then I guess I should talk about juggling. So we can stun, and then if we do hit 1, there's a limit to how many times you can do hit 1. So 1, 2, 3. That is the limit of how many times you can do hit 1. And this applies to every scroll. So I am just really messing up here, but okay. You can only do 2 hits, and then you can do the full combo afterwards, and that's the optimal juggle. So it's like 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So in this case, that would be adding 2 additional hits here, so that'd be 7 hits. If you just do the raw juggle, you're losing out on a bit of damage, but I mean, the benefit is that it would be faster. So if we have like a PvP like team situation, if I do this, it's going to be faster, but don't drop the juggle, right? And then there's also technically this. If you do this, and then you do a tackle, that's enough to get over some fences. I mean, that one is a little bit too large. If we headed over to Moon, I'm pretty sure that would be enough to get over the fence. If we go from behind, maybe? Oh, right, from behind. Well, that's cool. But if we go from behind, you get a different knockdown. And you're able to go over some small fences like this. So you can see right there, we're going a little upwards on that knockback if we were to turn this guy around. Oh, turn please. If we turn them around, this guy falls flat on their back, right? So if you hit someone from directly the front, that's what will end up happening. They will just fall flat on their back, but if you hit them from behind, this applies to pretty much every scroll. If you hit them from behind, they will, despite your scroll not having the ability or your combo not having the ability to launch someone upwards, they will be launched up a little bit. So this fence too big, but if we went to moon, that would be enough to get over the small fences. And that's the ground hit, right? Oh yeah, okay. There are also ground hits, so, you know. Sometimes you can do ground hits, sometimes you can't. It's kind of situational, depends on what you're doing. Out of a juggle, I believe I should be able to do it with this roll, so it's like this, and then this. And I get 9 hits off of that. So first 2 from the juggle, and then we can do the actual juggle, and then the ground hit. So that is how you would do the optimal combo, I guess, for DPS for this scroll, kind of. But I mean, with Air Panic, I guess things change, so I haven't really figured it out. I haven't really played that much since they added Air Panic. I've lost all interest after that, but whatever. And then, well, most players won't have this to start, but you have Nanmu as well. And Nanmu is kind of crazy, so the optimal combo is to usually do a launcher and then, well, I haven't figured out the timing for Electro, but there is this option, I guess, where we can do a launcher like this. So in this case, it'll be the stun, and then we can just do Nanmu on that. But usually mid juggle, I think, with some combos, you should be able to kind of, well, it depends on the scroll, but you can Nanmu to end a juggle, which is just crazy amounts of damage, but it's not like super worth doing because your opponent might have a panic attack so they can break out of that. But if you're cracked enough, you can predict the panic and then you can do another combo. And then it's just crazy amounts of damage, but don't drop the juggle, you know? And if I do it correctly, I can probably do it like this as well. Yeah, this is hard to time, but I don't know if I can actually with this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's possible. So you can do punch punch and then into a different combo. So any of the ones that you would have listed. I believe this one's also doable, right? Yeah, that's doable. Oh, that's hard to input though. So we can do that, and that gets over fences. Well, it depends when you would need to do this, I guess. And the ground hit does have some small amounts of movement. So if I were to do, like, let's see, this, and then we get over a fence, like this, you could then ground hit and knock someone off the edge from the ground. I mean, that's just the thing, I guess. If I could do it correctly. But whatever. Kind of difficult to do, but you probably get the idea. And you have to do ground hits pretty quickly, so I can't do a ground hit off of, like, I guess this. Well, not always, because you can roll out of this. You can do get up attacks. So that was enough distance because I did from the back, I guess. If I do it from the front, is it still possible? Let's give that another go. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's doable. Why was it doable from the back? Is this just more difficult? I think I can do a ground hit there, yeah. There's something about the punch combo that changes. Is it like airtime or something? It's just less airtime. It's literally impossible. And I can't do an air grab consistently. But technically, yeah. Someone's defending. You could bait out. Like, so typically if I'm jumping at someone like this, the expectation is probably a jump kick, but if right here, instead of inputting a jump kick, I can input a grab, but I just can't do the input. Like, it's just not consistent with my keyboard or something. Like, I don't know. Or they patched it out, like, who knows? Oh, there we go. Air grab. So that's just another mechanic there. And of course, there's countering, so if we get attacked, we can kind of counter. I mean, it's hard for me to showcase this here, but if I am just getting attacked mid-combo, the timing is really tricky, but yeah, this guy doesn't really have a combo. He is the default scroll. But if I'm getting comboed like this, 1, 2, 3, depending on the tempo, if you're going fast, it's pretty hard to do. Like if your opponent's like doing fast combos, pretty hard to do, but if they're doing more slow combos, it becomes more possible to drop the counter and then immediately, or not drop the counter, drop the guard and immediately go into counter. Timing a little bit tricky, but that would be like if your opponent hit you like 1, 2, and then 3. On hit 2, we drop the guard and then we go immediately into counter. We can just do that. And we can also angle this, and it's quite tricky. So it's not as useful for this scroll. It's like, all right, because we should be able to, I believe, with this scroll, we should be able to do a ground hit. So we could do this angle and then ground hit. That should be possible. Yeah, the recovery attack is a little fast on this guy, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think we should be able to do a ground hit and get some distance here, and it matters for some maps, especially when you're playing to essentially kill, and not by knockout, by edging, I guess. That's the name. I mean, the name has not aged well, I suppose, but edging just refers to knocking someone off the map, like in Smash Bros, I guess, where you would be taking a stock. It's like that kind of thing where you're knocking someone off the map. But, yeah, that's just the general idea. And not all scrolls will have the same abilities, not all of them will have the same, well, launchers and combos. So if I were to swap, I guess I can just quickly go ahead and swap. Yeah, okay, so that's what it looks like. All right, so I'll just swap to a different scroll real quick. We'll do, we'll go with Hungar, sure. All right, we can also change the map here now that I think about it. Let's go with OG Moon. Moonlight Valley, okay, a classic. And I don't even want to get into all of the bugs that the game is riddled with. Like, it's just a large amount. So first I have to remember how I use the scroll, but yeah. If I hit from the back, like this, boom, you fall off. And then if I hit from the front instead, let's see if I can change which way this guy's facing. Okay, that way. Now this will not knock them off, right? But yeah. If I tackle like this, you're not getting knocked off. If I tackle like this, you're not getting knocked down from the back. So that doesn't do anything either. If I tackle from the front, you get knocked down, so it's not doing a whole lot. If you're in the air and you get tackled, you always get sent flying. But you know, abusing the 3D is kind of important, so if I just grab normally like this, this guy will live, right? If I angle the grab, they're dead. I could angle this either direction. So we angle that way, dead. We angle this way, dead. If we do it from here, the fence, right? So yeah, grab that way. And it's situational. If we actually don't want to kill them, we can do this on purpose as well. It just depends how you're feeling, I suppose. And depending on the scroll, you have different combos that might kill, might not. So this is a 2-hit, so this is pretty just BS. If you get hit by this, right, you're immediately dead. It's super fast. If you get hit in the back, right? And then let's see. Okay, so that's the 4 hit for this scroll. If I do 1, 2, 3, angle, that can kill if they were facing forward, because the amount of distance you get sent is going to be affected by which way you're facing. So you have to be a little bit aware of that. So right here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that should be enough. 1, 2, 3, and then if that hit, that would have killed. But if we send this guy flying this way, there's still platform here, right? So just using the direction a little bit. Boom, direction. Crazy. And I genuinely don't remember how to play the scroll, so you know, you'll have to. Let's see. Okay, so it's like that, and then okay. I guess juggling does get a little bit trickier depending on like elevation, so the timing changes. Okay. And right here, if I could input it, I would be doing a diagonal air grab, but you know, sometimes you just can't input anything you want, and I believe Hungar has an Omni to grab, so yeah, that's not enough to kill, unless I have a ground hit, which, yeah, I do. So I think from here, like this. Oh, that's just enough distance. If I didn't have enough distance, I could do the ground hit. But yeah, that's essentially abusing direction right there. So if I grab this way, the live. If I grab this way, the live. If I grab this way, the live. So I have to grab diagonally. So that is some diagonal abusing. And if I jump like this, and I do a diagonal kick, they'll change my direction enough for me to get up on this platform. But of course, if I were to like jump just like this, it's not enough to get up. If I jump like that's also an option, but having more options to get up is nice, I guess. So if I just diagonal kick while I'm moving this way, it will just slightly change my direction. That's essentially all I'm doing. And this applies with punches as well. It just slightly changes the direction you're going. So yeah. Not enough height if we just jump once though for this, because I don't have enough jump in this set. But yeah, that's another thing to just be aware of, I guess. What was this again? Oh, that's a grab. Wait, what? So if I abuse the angle on this, I think that can kill, right? So that'd be like this and then this. And then what other combo does this have? Kick, punch, punch. Oh, I see that. That sends someone behind me, so that would be like that essentially, but done correctly. Let's see. Kick, punch, punch. That doesn't work. I need to angle the third hit, I think. Kick, punch, punch. Yeah, there we go. So you have to kind of test out all of the scrolls and kind of like get a feel and kind of figure out what hit you're supposed to actually change your angle on. Because if you change the angle on the wrong one, your combo just doesn't work anymore. So it's a little bit sophisticated. And there are a lot of scrolls in the game, but still, somehow, the game is not really worth playing, believe it or not. And I mean, I guess there are also exocores, but exocores just don't really matter. Some of them change some of your like moveset. So here I still have the same kick and the same launcher, I believe, right? But now I have the cannon, launcher, punch moveset. Let's see, which way does this send you? Hard to say. If I do this from here, and then I were to dash, I believe I can get kills like that, right? I don't think I have enough distance or speed to use this weapon like this, though. Oh, I can do that, though, apparently. That's something. Wait, let's try doing that one more time. Oh, that was it just happened to be the perfect distance. Positioning for that would be really hard. I just got it accidentally. That's crazy. let's see, what was my other EXO on this? Oh, this one. So different EXOs have different ways to utilize them. So we have this one. So this is a launcher, so I can just do this and then, oh, we were aligned in a weird way. But if we were lined up head on like this, I should be able to launch. And then, oh, platform right there. Let's try that one more time. I'm garbage. Okay, try that one more time. Try that one more time. Okay, this is a little bit rough because I honestly don't use Exos that much, but alright. But we'll get it eventually. The height was different from every other time. Alright. They got sent diagonal that time. But you know, essentially the idea with this EXO is you're supposed to launch them with that attack and then you can juggle out of that, or you could just do a tackle like that. And that's also abusing direction as well. But, you know, it's just something you can do, I guess. And I think this is actually a kill move too. Well, that just didn't connect, but if it did connect, I think that kills, right? Yeah. I mean, this kills, so yeah. Wait, it's punch kick? Oh. The punch kick here is enough to get over, I think, some plats. That's about it, right? But only from the back, right? Yeah. Brutal if you get hit by that. So you just gotta be a little bit aware. And sometimes you just gotta be not greedy and don't drop your combo, I guess. So here's something advanced, I guess. Wait. Okay, there we go. And then you can technically perform a panic to do a hit. I mean, you can only do that once, but that's useful for when someone's like about to KS you, I guess. I mean, I couldn't input it correctly, and I only have one attempt. Because you get one panic attack and one Nanmu in training mode for some reason. It's been this way forever, but... Alright, might as well see what the Nanmu is for this. My timing was off there. I'm pretty sure you could land like ground hit. And I mean, yeah. Ground hits can extend the hitbox a little bit, so let's see. And that extended that enough to knock that guy off. So that's something. Well, yeah, that's Rumble Fire in a nutshell, and it's just mostly just PvP. The PvP is like fine. It's got interesting qualities to it, I suppose, but for the most part, game's still not worth playing, even with all of these interesting mechanics, because, well, every time I played it, like recently-ish, it's just been in kind of a unplayable state, so yeah. How unfortunate. And yeah, games are pretty quick, so it's not that hard to just pick up for a moment and then just drop it when you have the time, I guess. Oh, speaking of which, just to throw out one of the reasons not to play, like, there is this thing called first load. Why does first load exist? Genuinely? No idea. Oh, I guess they're also emote switch are a thing, but yeah. But yeah, so... Well, first load is a thing where, like, I've been to this stage before. You might have seen the load before when we were going into the stage, which, you know, makes some sense. So if we go here, this will need, like, much less time to load because it's already loaded before. So if we go to a different stage, it'll take a little bit time to load. And then you need time to load other people's players. So if we change to, let's go with Eden Cove, sure. This is taking not that long to load, but yeah, it takes some time in general when you're changing stages that you haven't played before, but if you've played the stage, it'll load faster. But also, if one player has not finished loading in, everyone has to wait for them. That's kind of how this works, right? but it takes longer to load for some reason if you just immediately go into a lobby with other people. Like, why? And then if you were to disconnect, the only way to reconnect is if you were to close the game and then reopen the game. Like, just why? No idea why at all, but that is how the game works, or rather doesn't work. But yeah, that's essentially Rumble Fighter, and like just some of the basics. There is more complicated stuff, like stuff that I don't even know if it's useful. For example, if you do an air grab, which I can't even input like consistently at all. I did like once earlier, but whatever. If you're able to perform an air grab, you can actually chain air grabs to do an air climb, but that's like kind of a glitch, kind of like cheating, kind of frowned upon, kind of depends. But aside from that, if you do an air grab, you're actually able to do an air block, which is the only way you can kind of do that. And also, I think there's a bug, right? Let me see if I can replicate it. I don't think it's doable here on this kind of platform. If we go to Moon, we should be able to do it. Okay, let's see. I'm pretty sure this is still in the game, because why wouldn't it be? We'll do Sunset Valley, I guess. Because this is essentially just Moon, but reskinned. Alright, let's see. And right there. What is that? If you jump or punch at the right timing, after you like really walk into a wall like this, and then you have to be like about to land on a platform, I think those were the conditions. If you meet those conditions, you do whatever that is. And then if we un-exocore while dashing, and we let go dash at the same time, I believe, right? Yeah, we start doing this animation, and I'm not dashing, it's just automatically dashing for me. So let's see what I have for emotes. Okay, we have come on. Alright, so we're going to do that again. So now we're going to do, oh, that was I'm ready. This input, I guess, but okay. If we do this, it'll just, well, it'll do the animation while sliding. That bug? Not even really useful, it's just kind of funny. Do we have a dance queued up here? Nope. Not that. Not that. Nope. No dance. You'd have to set it up. But if you did, you would just continuously just slide across the map and kind of just, you know, do whatever animation you're doing. So if I type fast enough, I should be able to get something off. So let's do like this, and then /2, I guess. And then we're just swimming across the stage. I don't even know what to say about this, but you know, this, no real complaints about this. Just incredibly based. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. Bye.